Hello everyone in the YouTube world, it's a Spirit Room 152, coming to you from my dad's Lexus. He's currently getting cataract surgery on his right eye. He's going to be in there for quite a while, so I just thought I'd make this video. This video is in response to the murder of Christina Grimmie and my frustration towards venues that don't have anything past bag checks. And I mean, here's the thing, I'm gonna be honest with you, I had no idea who Christina Grimmie was until this incident. I found out about the incident when a friend of mine posted about how Christina got shot. Now this was before she was pronounced dead. She posted about how Christina was shot at a venue in Orlando, Florida, the Plaza Live Theater, and it just, and then about a few minutes later, I went onto Alternative Press's website, and it was, and I found out, and that's when I found out that Christina had died from her injuries. And then the next morning, I sent an email to my elected officials. I'm from Maryland, so, and in my district, that would be Maryland State Senator Robert G. Castley and State Delegate Susan K. McComas. And see, there's a reason why elected officials have their contact information made available to the public, and so that way they can hear from people. And I suggested to them that there should be a law where all music venues in the state of Maryland, and like regardless of capacity, should have thorough vetting processes. What does that mean? That goes, and it goes past bag checks. Okay, not only is it bag checks, that includes pat downs and being scanned with a metal detector. And then I also threw in that if music venues didn't have those thorough vetting processes and it resulted in an incident such as loss of life, weapons related assault, then that venue should be held liable and responsible, and should be brought up on criminal charges, because just that kind of thing. I mean, I feel like if venues had had more thorough vetting processes, then then we probably wouldn't have this incident. And the thing is, I don't go to arena shows because, well, too much money, and it's just, yeah, I like general admission venues better, those kinds of shows, because it's cheaper and you get to meet the bands after. Anyway, so, I mean, last time I was at the Royal Farms Arena, it was back in 2008, and it was known as the First Mariner Arena. And when I went there, you had to do, not only did they have to do bag check, not only did you have to have your bag checked, you got patted down, and you had to go through metal detectors. I mean, I don't understand why general admission venues don't have those in place. I mean, if you don't do anything past bag checks, then for all you know, someone could have a gun in their pants and shoot up the place. I mean, just saying. I mean, there's just one venue I went to last year. Okay, needless to say, I don't think they checked my bag. And on top of that, I have a triple strand wallet chain that I wear. It helps me keep track of my wallet. And this chain I have, it has about 6 feet of chains. Yeah, they didn't, like, they didn't notice it. Like, so for all they knew, I could have just taken that chain off and strangled somebody with it. And I feel like the venue would have been held liable for that because they didn't check for the chains. And, you know, and also the thing is, at the time I went to the show, I was 22. And, also at this same venue, if you're 21 or older and you show them ID, you get a wristband that allows you to be served alcohol. But not only that, you can go outside of the venue and not be penalized by not being allowed back into the venue. Like, you can go in and out as much as you want. And for me, that was a really good thing because because sometimes it can be really overwhelming inside, and if I can just have a break for a few minutes, then, you know, then it just makes the concert more bearable. And but just, like, seriously, I don't know why more venues don't have. I don't understand why general admission venues don't have, like, these vetting processes. I have a friend who has been to a lot of music venues up and down the East Coast. I do know she went to Seattle once to see She Is We. And so she saw She Is We. And but yeah, also, I'm a bit sleep deprived, so excuse me if I'm all over the place. And so back to that email I sent. I posted a copy of it on Facebook, and then I asked that friend, the one I just mentioned who saw She Is We in Seattle, I asked her for her 2 cents on the subject that I had emailed my elected officials about. And she completely agreed with me, 110%, as she said. And how she has been to, and she also mentioned that she's been to, you know, just every every general admission venue she's been in, there were, like, no pat downs, no metal detectors. And she feels that, and like me, she believes that venues should have pat downs and metal detectors. I mean, I feel like if the Plaza Live had metal detectors and pat downs on top of the bag checks, I feel like Christina Grimmie would still be alive and singing for us. But the fact of the matter is, she's not, because the venue didn't have a more extensive vetting process. And you know, my buddy Nicole and I, we talk about dreams that we have. Now one of them is opening a music venue. And I feel like it should be called the Safe Haven Theater, because when people go to shows, they mostly do it not only to enjoy their favorite bands, but to escape their problems, you know, take a break from reality. And I feel like venues should be a safe place to be. And should that music venue come to fruition, okay, so in terms of security, not only would we have thorough bag checks, we would also have pat downs, extensive pat downs, not like to the point of like strip search, or not like to the degree of like strip search, but you know. And also we would have walk-through metal detectors, and we would also have those handheld metal detectors as well, you know, just to be just to have that second layer of metal detection, if you will. And also another policy that I feel like we should have, I don't know, I would have to talk to Nicole about all this, that if you don't comply with the vetting process, then you're not going to be allowed in the venue, regardless of how much you paid for your tickets, regardless of how far you traveled to come to our venue. Needless to say, like I said, should this venue come to fruition, then every person would have to be vetted. Also, anyone we would hire, to work security for the venue, they would have to comply with the security procedures. And another thing that I feel like should happen is if security doesn't follow through with the procedure thoroughly, then they're out. I mean, if you're really that lazy, if you're really just not gonna care, then you have no business working security in the venue. And also, I read on Facebook about this girl who went into a venue and the guy didn't even bother to check her bag. I mean, she could have had a 9mm handgun in there and could have used it. But, venue didn't bother to check. And, but yeah, like I said, any of this, the stuff I just mentioned, in terms of the Safe Haven Theater, if that's what Nicole and I end up calling it in the end, like I said, I would have to talk about all of that with her, but I feel like she would agree with it. I mean, seriously, no one should have to piss themselves over whether or not they're gonna feel safe in a venue. Also, another thing we would do, we would vet the artists who come in and play the show. Don't care how seriously, and also if they don't comply, then they don't get to play the show, period. There's a reason why these rules would be put into place, because the fact of the matter is, the safety of every person in the venue, whether it be the people in the crowd, the employees, security, everyone, their safety should come first. Sorry, there's a guy with a leaf blower outside. And but yeah, I mean, like I said, I feel like if the Plaza Live Theater had a more thorough vetting process, then Christina Grimmie would still be alive. But the fact of the matter is, she's not. Her family has to bury her. And don't get me wrong, I also hold the shooter fully responsible, but I feel like the venue should have had more extensive vetting processes. And the thing is, I feel like I said, I feel like if music venues had more thorough vetting processes, then the stuff like what happened to Christina Grimmie, it could be prevented altogether. But, and the thing is, what's so pathetic about the Plaza Live? When they posted on Facebook about Christina's death, they didn't bother to mention her name. Someone dies in your venue and you just treat them like nothing happened. I mean, come on, let's be real here. Fact of the matter is, someone died in your venue, just own up to it. It's not that hard. Anyway, so the Spirit Room 152 signing off. Alright, bye guys.